Okay, now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about remembering how long this piece is here, this piece of pipe, because initially you would think that when you put this pipe on here, your header pipe, that would just slide all the way like that, and you would slide your clamp and tighten it up. Now, if you do that and you take your pipe here and you slide that on all the way like that, when you have these slid on all the way, you're going to have a problem. And your problem is going to be right here. Bolting your bolts here is not going to line up. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, these holes on these brackets are not, if you can see that, hopefully you can, but it's not going to line up properly. Even if you twist and turn this thing, it's not going to line up properly by both of these. If you push that all the way in, actually I didn't have it pushed it in all the way, but if you push that all the way in and that all the way in, it's not, your bolt holes are not going to line up. Hopefully you can see that. In fact, that the bottom one is way off and the top one's off too. So at first I didn't even know if it was going to work, or maybe they sent the wrong exhaust. I wasn't sure, but I called HMF and they said that they actually designed it like this for a reason. So because I asked them, I said, well, is this going to make, is it going to be okay to pull this out a little bit? And they said yes, that basically you want to have probably as long as that's covered, as long as your clamp can cover here, you're okay. And you got plenty of room. If you notice, that's why I said to pay attention to how long your stock header pipe is, so you can pull it back and still have plenty of room to tighten this down. So with a little bit of, it's going to take some twisting and a little bit of pulling back to get this thing right, but you're going to have to pull this back a little bit here, and you're going to have to pull this one back a little bit, and I'm going to have to sit here and do some twisting and turning with this to try to get this right. And I can tell you for one thing, it takes some maneuvering with this to get this thing in here right. So I'm going to pull that back probably a little more. This top one's about lined up, but getting the bottom one lined up is going to be a bit of a chore too. The top one's about right, but the bottom one is a little bit off, which, by the way, they give you new bolts to put in here, so you don't have to use your old ones. So I'm gonna sit here a second and see. And I've also found that it's better to start with this bottom and try to get this bottom one in first. Hopefully you can see what's going on. And that is not starting. And by the way, that's a 13 millimeter. These heads are 13 millimeter. Okay, that started. I'm going to try to get this one lined up as well. But what you're going to find is, see, it has come back a little bit here. I really hope you can see. I'm trying to keep my phone here to get these angles right, so hopefully you can see that. But the point of what I'm saying though is, you're gonna have to put a little space. It's not gonna go all the way, and you're gonna have to come a little bit off of here too. But I think basically, as long as you can't see any, as long as there's no gap here, as long as your header pipes goes past these notches, you should be okay. That's basically what the guy told me. As long as your pipe, your clamp here, you clamp it down, you should be good to go. So what I'm going to do now is try to twist and turn this thing a little bit to get this in here and started. And that looks like that is. So now with the exhaust on, this is pretty much in place here. And it still looks like I've still got plenty of pipe in here, plenty here. So should be good to go ahead and tighten this thing on down where it's at, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and well, let's see, I think that one was for that. By the way, this is a number 5 or 5 millimeter. Go ahead and start tightening this down, or get it snug. And this right here is going, what size is that? That is a 11 millimeter, which hopefully you can see that. But that's why I said to pay, that's why I gave you an idea about how long this header pipe is, to give you plenty of room out here. So now 11 millimeter to start, and I'm going to go ahead and snug this on down too. And snug that, and then come back, and I'll probably go ahead and tighten this down. Now, I don't think it didn't mention about any specific torque to put on this, but I would assume that you want to get this thing pretty tight, because this, I don't know, this may flex a little bit. I'm really not sure, but that is really, really tight right there. So I'm going to go about the same with this one. That's really tight right there. That is really snug. And then I'm gonna go and tighten these up here. And I think I mentioned this already, but I'll say it again. It was easier. I've already been out here and kind of did this a little bit once. I didn't put everything on, but that's where I ran into those problems about this. I wasn't sure about how this was supposed to fit. So I took it all back off and called HMF, and they're kind of guided me on that. So it was easier for me to start with this bottom one first and then do the top. I don't know why I had such a problem trying to start here and then, but it was just easier. You may not have that problem. And normally I don't really like real long videos wherever, but I felt like this one maybe it would be more, I figured people would really want more of a step-by-step, because I see a lot of people that a lot of videos has these and all they show is just what it looks like after it's already installed, not really the install process. And you can miss a lot of little things, like things that I was talking about here. So that's kind of why I'm spending more time in making this such a lengthy video, because there's a lot of little things that and again, I'm getting these pretty tight, and so that's pretty solid there. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna pause it again and come back, and because now I have to do these. Actually, I've got something else I need to do, because I can't really go any further until I get this thing back together, because I got to put the rack on so I can mount the snorkel. So for right now, that's gonna do it for this one, and stay tuned for I'm probably gonna break this down into parts, but if not, I'll be back after I get it back together and start with the snorkel.